In a world newly formed by divine hands, two brothers, Cain and Abel, walk side by side, yet in their hearts, they tread distinct paths. As twilight gives way to shadows, they prepare for an act of faith that will reveal much more than their intentions. Abel, with the serenity of the righteous, chooses the firstborn lamb of his flock. Each of his movements is a prayer, an acknowledgement of the blessing it is to be able to offer. Cain, on the other hand, stands distant, his heart divided. In his hands, fruits gathered without care, an offering that reflects not his best, but enough to fulfill the obligation. Abel speaks to Cain. Brother, remember that it is from the heart that the true offering flows. God has blessed us abundantly, why not offer the best of our first fruits to him? In this twilight of humanity and divinity, the choices of two brothers foreshadow an eternal lesson. It is not the magnitude of the offering, but the purity of the heart it reflects, that touches the heavens. Thus, in the silence that precedes the storm, two offerings are made, and the course of humanity is about to change. As the night envelopes the world in its embrace, an expectant silence takes over the field. The offerings rest upon the altar, two prayers materialized, awaiting the Creator's gaze. The moment of revelation is near, and with it, the masks fall away, exposing the truths of hearts. And then, from the veil of the infinite, an answer is given. Abel's offering, chosen with love and reverence, is accepted, bathed in divine light. A validation not just of his gift, but of his pure heart. Cain, in turn, finds himself immersed in the shadow of rejection. His offering, devoid of the true essence of giving, remains untouched, a painful reminder that what is offered without true value remains unnoticed by the eyes of the eternal. God speaks to Cain. Cain, why does your heart cloud with the shadow of wrath? Do you not know that if you do well, you will be accepted? But if you do not do well, sin lies at the door, and its desire is for you, but you must master it. Before the Creator's words, Cain stands on the threshold of a choice that will define his destiny. The divine warning echoes like a beacon, offering him a chance for redemption, a call to overcome the darkness that wells up within him. Between the light of acceptance and the shadow of rejection, the path he chooses will not only determine his fate but will echo through the ages, a perpetual reminder of the battle between good and evil that resides in every heart. As a new day dawns, bringing light to darkness, a shadow grows in Cain's heart. A wrath fueled not by divine rejection, but by his inability to look within himself. His isolation is not merely physical, but a reflection of his departure from the light that once sought to guide him. Within him, a battle unfolds, between the truth offered to him and the pride that refuses to accept it. Wrath, like an uncontained flame, consumes his reason, guiding him down a path of no return. Abel, unaware of the approaching storm, remains true to his essence, a beacon of goodness in contrast to the darkness that swallows his brother. Cain, speaking to himself. Why Abel? Why his offering and not mine? What does he have that I do not? Abel speaks. Brother, it's good to find you here. Come join me. There's much to be done, and together we can. But words of peace cannot calm a turbulent soul. Cain, lost in his wrath, sees in Abel not the brother who loves him but the mirror of his own failures. And it is in this moment, in this exact instant, that the fate of both is sealed. A choice made not just in words, but in action, will shape the oldest of human tragedies. In a landscape that once symbolized the promise of a new day, now lies a silent echo of loss and desolation. Cain, enveloped in the shadow of his irreversible act, faces the void left by his choices. An inescapable truth reveals itself: there is no escape from the consequences of our actions. God speaks with Cain. Cain, where is Abel, your brother? Cain responds with a trembling voice. I do not know. Am I my brother's keeper? In Cain's words, a vain attempt to hide the truth from one who sees all. But it is in the divine response that the magnitude of his fall is revealed, not just as punishment, but as a mirror to the choices that shape our soul. God speaks. What have you done? The voice of your brother's blood cries out to me from the ground. Now, therefore, you are cursed from the earth, which has opened its mouth to receive your brother's blood from your hand. Cain speaks. My punishment is greater than I can bear. If you drive me away from your presence today, I will be a fugitive and a wanderer on the earth, and whoever finds me will kill me. In his plea, Cain reveals the fear that now consumes him, a reflection not just of the act committed, but of the isolation of his soul. But even in the depths of punishment, a spark of divine mercy is present. God then speaks. Therefore, whoever kills Cain, vengeance will be taken on him sevenfold. And the Lord put a mark on Cain, lest anyone finding him should kill him. Thus, Cain departs, a man marked by his own hand, condemned to wander under the weight of his actions. A living reminder that, while the shadows of our deeds may follow us, the light of mercy and redemption remains within reach, awaiting our return to grace. As Cain treads his path under the mantle of the curse, his lineage flourishes in the shadows of his legacy. Cities rise, fruit of the effort and innovation of his descendants, a testament that even from a curse, life finds a way. But, distanced from the divine presence, they carry the weight of a heritage marked by transgression. In contrast to the turmoil left by Cain, a new chapter begins in the story of humanity. Seth is born, a sign of hope and renewal for Adam and Eve, a reminder that divine mercy allows for new beginnings, even in the depths of despair. Seth, whose name symbolizes divine completeness and perfection, becomes the bearer of a new covenant between God and humanity. From his lineage will arise Enos, and with him, humanity begins again to seek the name of the Lord, rekindling the flame of faith that had been obscured. Thus, from the ashes of transgression, springs the promise of redemption. Seth's lineage, marked not by curse but by blessing, brings back the light of faith and communion with the divine. A journey back to the heart of God, paved by hope and the renewal of the human spirit. In the dawn of a new era, the story of Cain and Abel continues to echo, a perpetual reminder of the choices that shape our destiny. But in the lineage of Seth, we find the assurance that, despite the falls, the grace of redemption is always within reach, awaiting only our return to the light. With the breaking of a new day, we witness the renewing power of faith and communion. The lineage of Seth, guided by principles of love and dedication to the divine, rebuilds not just an altar, but the very fabric of a society that venerates the presence and goodness of God. In the voice of Seth and the actions of Enos, the essence of an ancient, yet ever-new truth resonates. The best of us, when offered with a pure heart, reaches the heavens and returns as a blessing upon the earth. They remind us that every act of faith, every gesture of love, is a seed planted in the fields of the eternal. Here, in the simplicity of a heart turned upwards, we find the true essence of the sacrifice that pleases God. It is not material grandeur, but sincerity and surrender that define the value of our offering. And so, through generations, the story of Cain and Abel continues to teach us about the depth of our choices and the immensity of our responsibility. May the memory of their lives inspire in us the courage to offer the best of our being, in every word, in every action, in every thought. For in each new dawn, in every heart that chooses to love, in every soul that turns towards God, the promise of redemption is renewed, weaving the infinite tapestry of the relationship between the Creator and His creatures. May today's choices always lead us closer to the light, shaping a tomorrow of peace, love, and deep communion with the divine. As the stars weave their silent stories across the night's mantle, our journey through the saga of Cain and Abel and the legacy of Seth leads us to a threshold. Here, at the confluence of past and future, we realize that the stories of humanity are chapters of a larger narrative, intertwined by the thread of divine providence. But the story does not end here. As humanity grows and expands, each generation faces its own trials and triumphs, its own choices between the path of light and shadows. And it is within this eternal cycle that the promise of a new hero is announced, one whose faith and actions will restore hope amidst despair, light amidst darkness. In the depths of a world that forgets to look upwards, emerges Noah, a man whose life is a testimony to unwavering faith. In his journey, he will face the greatest of challenges, but will also become the bearer of the greatest of promises. The story of Noah, an echo of the past, is also a vision for the future, reminding us that, even when the waters of adversity threaten to engulf us, divine grace offers salvation. Thus, we invite you to continue with us on this journey, as we explore the stories of faith, redemption, and renewal that form the heart of the human experience. For each story, from Adam and Eve to Noah and beyond, is an invitation to reflect on our own journey, our own choices, and our own place within the vast tapestry of divine purpose.